But they can see his face, right?
Can.
Okay. Hi, welcome back to the National Quiz Choice, Mr. Chester, and tell us more about what are you going to do next, right after this book. And of course, here at the Grand Hyatt, Say at the Hyatt, we heard that you also be planning to publish a children's book.
Yeah.
A poem. Please tell us more.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited about this project, actually. My grandfather was a barrister, Queen's Counsel. Grew up in England, emigrated to the United States, and then moved up to southern Alberta in Canada. I'm Canadian by heritage. And he was quite a Renaissance man. He published newspapers, he worked in law offices. But the thing that he's famous for in my family is he's a great poet. And he would write these poems, and my father would learn them, and then he passed them down to us. So one of the ways to keep his legacy alive is to pass these poems from generation to generation. And this project I'm involved in now is to take some of his poems and make them into children's books. One poem in particular that I really like, and it's fitting that we're here in Singapore, it's about the oyster in the sand. And it goes like this. So as we were kids, my dad would teach us how to say the poems and the phrasing. So you always introduce the poem. So this is The Oyster in the Sand by David Horton Elton. Have you heard about the oyster? It's a clammy subject, true, but there's friendly inspiration that's good for me and you. We could solve so many problems and our trials understand if we'd only learn a lesson from the oyster in the sand. There once was an oyster whose story I'll tell, who found that some sand had gotten into his shell. Just one small grain, but it gave him pain, for oysters have feelings for all they're so plain. Now, did he berate this working of fate that had led him to such a deplorable state? Did he curse out the government, call for election, or cry that the sea should have given protection? No. He said to himself as he lay on his shelf, since I cannot remove it, I'll try to improve it. Now the years roll around as the years always do, and he came to his ultimate destiny, stew. But that one small grain that had bothered him so was a beautiful pearl, all richly aglow. Now this story has a moral, for isn't it grand what an oyster can do with a morsel of sand? What couldn't we do if we'd only begin with all of the things that get under our skin? I just thought that was a great, it was a great poem, but there's a great story and a great moral. And my grandfather was part of the Kiwanis club, service. It was a service organization. It was renowned as quite a public speaker. And he would always write these poems and incorporate them into his speeches. So we thought, what better way than to put them in children's books and pass them from generation to generation. So what do you think?
Not bad at all, not bad at all. Could you share us just one more poem?
Sure. He wrote a great one about the devil and his tools, and this one's called Discouragement. It was once announced, so the story goes, that the devil was going to quit, that all his tools would be up for sale, the whole infernal kit. Malice and envy, hatred and strife, each one marked at a bargain price. Jealousy and pride, all implements of vice. A sad and sorry-looking lot, attractively displayed, but just aside from all the rest, this wedge-shaped tool lay. A simple, harmless-looking tool, well worn as one could trace, but higher priced than all the rest in that infernal place. Then someone asked the devil what this wedge-shaped tool was. Why, that's discouragement, said he. It is higher priced than all the rest because it is more useful unto me than any of the others. It will prevail where I might fail with any of the others. Few people know I have it, so it works with perfect ease. And once inside, I'll put you wise. I do just as I please. Just let me get the mind of man, discouraged, downcast, blue. Eureka! I found the way satanic work to do. Suffice to say, the price to pay the devil for his pet was just so high no one could buy. And so he's got it yet. And in these days of stress, we'll no doubt find discouragement of all his tools, the best.
Well, Mr. Chester, thank you so much for joining us. And I heard that you plan to write a new book soon. Probably it's called Carrots 3.0.
Oh, well, we don't talk about titles. We don't, maybe another book on recognition, maybe another book about teamwork. I think it's important that you go back and refresh your ideas. And certainly we had a lot of fun in the world of reward and recognition. But like you found in social media, I think there's a whole explosion of bringing the world together. And I love the idea of working with maybe a company like LinkedIn as a database. You know, most of our books are based on a lot of research, and find out what is it that motivates people at work. And again, what's that thread of recognition that really galvanizes a great workplace? But yeah, well, I'll make sure we launch it with you in 2014, 2015. We'll probably come up with another book.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chester. And by the way, folks, thank you for watching the National Greatest Choice and the Grand Hyatt, let's say Hyatt online news. And don't forget to get hold of this copy all in. Thank you.